Alright, so here's the thing. When you hear Vikings, you probably think of these wild barbarians running around Europe, right? Raiding, pillaging, causing chaos. Yeah, that definitely happened. But guess what? These dudes like real laws, an actual legal system. I know, sounds crazy when we're talking about people famous for burning monasteries. But here's where it gets wild. Their version of justice? Not exactly what you'd call forgiving. We're talking brutal punishments that'll make your stomach turn. Fair warning, this is gonna get rough. So today we've got everything mapped out nice and clear. Murder, manslaughter, accidental death, we categorize it all. But back in Viking times, the line was way more blurry. The rules were, let's just say, different. Here's the twist. If you killed someone in secret, like sneaking up and stabbing them in their sleep, that was considered absolutely disgusting, cowardly, like the worst thing you could possibly do in their society. But if you challenged someone to a duel in public, fought them face to face out in the open, that was totally acceptable, brave even, respected. Yeah, I know, it's wild how different their values were. Even if it was an accident, you still had to own up to it. No running away. You had to face the council and pay compensation. These rules were absolute, no exceptions. That was the deal. That was their system. And honestly, it worked for them. But if you got caught breaking the code, murdering someone in their sleep, attacking without warning, oh man, you were in for something absolutely horrific. They called it the fatal walk. And trust me, you do not want to know the details of what that involved. Okay, so here's how messed up it was. They'd literally slice open your belly. Then they'd make you walk to the execution spot, usually a tree, with everything hanging out. Yeah, I know, it's as bad as it sounds. Probably worse. When they finally got to that tree, they'd tie the intestines around the trunk. This wasn't just execution. This was about making an example, about showing everyone what happens when you break the code. Alright, so let's talk about how their actual justice system worked. They had this thing called the Thing. Yeah, that's the actual name. I'm not making this up. The Thing. It was basically their version of a courthouse and government rolled into one. Every free Viking man could show up and have a say. It was actually pretty democratic for the time. Now here's the wild part. They didn't write their laws down. They had this one guy, the law speaker, who memorized everything. Like, literally the entire legal code, just stored up here in his brain. Can you imagine? And get this, in their culture, stealing was worse than murder. Like, way worse. Theft was seen as dishonorable, sneaky, cowardly, the kind of thing that made you an outcast from society. But killing someone in the open, face to face, that was considered brave. You literally had better odds getting away with cutting a throat than cutting a purse. This one's mentioned in Hrafnkel's Saga. Yeah, it's exactly as brutal as the name suggests, maybe worse. They'd hang the person upside down, but not by tying rope around the ankles. They'd pierce holes through the heels, thread rope through, and string them up. Eventually, they'd cut you down. But the punishment didn't end there. They'd declare you an outlaw. Everything you owned, gone. Your home, your property, your status, all stripped away.